Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 5 of the Pack Mentality podcast. I'm Shorb Z, joined with the young and talented AQ Debbie. We're going to be talking about the blog post, as well as the trailer, sort of the new things that we're seeing with it, as well as the community reception to the blog post and the trailer. It's been, it's definitely been received, that's for sure. So. Yeah, without further ado, AQ Debbie, how are we feeling about just the blog post, the trailer, anything specific about that? Or I guess just in general, to start off in general, how are you feeling about the blog post and the trailer?
Yeah, it's we got a lot of information that I mean a lot of it was stuff we had already thought about, or maybe stuff that got leaked, of course. But in general, I think I'm personally pretty excited about what we have. I know that's not the general consensus, but we'll talk about that a little later. In general, though, I think the things that they've sort of given us, I'm mild to excited. I would say I wish I wish we would have gotten a little bit more information, but I think with the scope of this map, maybe the things that they've told us are all they have. That is a very possible explanation to this. Might be Cope holding out a little bit of hope for some extra stuff, but we'll talk about that. Yeah, the biggest thing that I personally gleaned from all this that we've gotten is the random perk placement. I'm super excited about that. I'm glad that they even considered implementing that, and I think that is one of the things that makes Nuketown Zombies from BO2 so underrated, in my opinion. I'm just glad that they're taking another crack at it in a sort of different way, because in my eyes there are so many different perk machines that they could put on the map that, like, you won't always get the same configuration at all. Like, there may be a chance where we don't get Jug till round 25 or through TED trials, I guess. But no, that's really exciting. What do you think about the random perk placement, just to start us off?
Dude, I think it's sick. Like, the random perks is such a sick idea. I know, obviously in Nuketown in BO2, they like rain down from the sky, which in my opinion would have been a cooler way of doing it, like if they brought that back exactly. But yeah, just the random perks in general, like I think like that was such a sick thing to read the first like when I was reading the blog post. Like, dude, it's awesome. So there's 13, I think we have 13 total, and we get 8 in the map, and then the other 5 that we don't get go in the Wonder Fizz machine. Am I right in thinking that?
I'm curious. What you say we get 8? How do you know that?
I thought they mentioned that it was like 4 perk locations in each Nuketown. At least I thought they mentioned that in the blog post.
Maybe. And I'm looking at it right now. Hold on.
Okay. And basically those 8 perks are random every single game, and then there's just obviously whatever 5 don't get used in the map itself, they get put into Wonder Fizz. So yeah, if I remember correctly, I thought it was because like the picture that they show is, I'm pretty sure the picture they show is 4 locations in the obliterated Nuketown and 4 locations in the intact Nuketown. No,
I am looking at the blog post, and it is only showing 4 and 4. So you may be completely right on that. I didn't even consider that was like the actual amount we'd be getting. And so you said that leaves how many then? 5?
I think we have 13 total, right?
I think so.
So if it's 8 in the map, then yeah, 5. So like, again, I mean, it's either if you buy 4. The way Wonder Fizz works, if, just in case you don't know, not you, David. I know that you're aware. Just anybody listening, in case you don't know, Wonder Fizz spawns in either when you get to round 20 in BO7, or if you buy 4 perks. It's not, you can't get them from like side quests or anything. You have to buy 4 perks for Wonder Fizz to spawn in before round 20. So I mean, yeah, there's I mean, not that it has the same weight that it did in like Nuketown VO2, but I mean, there's a chance you don't get like Jug until like Wonderfizz spawns in or something like that. I don't know. I think it's a really really fun idea, and it like really it makes every single game that you play unique in a way that like it's a map unique mechanic, and it's a really fun one at that. And I have to applaud Treyarch for doing that. So yeah, I love the random perk idea. It's I mean, not brand new, but it's really cool. I'm a fan of it. So yeah, huge W by Treyarch there.
Absolutely. And I'm completely I was thinking with BO6 brain, but you're right. It does just spawn when you get when you specifically purchase 4 perks. So I guess it wouldn't be too long till you got Jug, even if they didn't spawn in. But regardless, I guess the system would work better in my eyes if it were like the BO6 version of Wonderfizz. But still, in general, I like that it spices things up, and you don't know where anything is until you already get a couple things equipped or get to the right round. Regardless, I just think it's a cool concept.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays. I mean, I'm just thinking about like I don't know if somebody's going for like the speedrunners like Freckleston and those guys. There's probably a lot of like I don't know, maybe a lot of like consideration that goes, unless maybe they're doing like gum speed runs where they just like rip a perkaholic right off the bat or something.
Sure.
But no, if you're not using any gums or anything, that's it's a fun thing to think about and consider with like speed running and stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to just getting a new perk combination basically every single game that I play of Paradox.
And they are I'll just segue. They are bringing back. Are they bringing back? I say they're bringing back the Plague Hounds, but they're rebranding them into the Rad Hounds, which I don't know if they needed a rename, although the name is really cool. I know their faces are. I think that's the only difference. Do you think that's the only reason they rebranded, because they don't have the like keeper head to call them Plague Hounds? It's an interesting choice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like I thought they were fun in D Machine. I don't really know why they like switched it to like the keeper head with like, or from the keeper head to like the dog head. I mean, they look cool in the picture and the blog post. They look cool. I don't have a problem with it. I know it's a reused enemy, but we haven't seen, like, we didn't get any kind of like Hellhound or Hellhound variant since Cold War, right? Well, I guess I think you said MWZ in the last podcast, but like,
sure,
that doesn't count. So
yeah, the closest thing I think I might have drawn a comparison to it was the toxic zombies on Shattered Veil. Like they're not obviously those are humanoid, but no, I mean, it's always good to see the dogs back, and thankfully in a somewhat new way. Like you said, we haven't seen them in a long time in this form. So yeah, you gotta have the dogs in a zombies game.
Yeah, no, it's like I'm happy to see them. I think it's a good change of pace from the Ravagers for sure. And like I love the Ravagers. Don't get me wrong; they're a super fun enemy, but it's good to change it up. You know, good to change it up. Glad to see the dogs back.
Wondering if since they're bigger, they won't sort of surround us so easily. That the Ravagers can be wild if you're not like if you just stop thinking for half a second. They can punish you for that. So I'm wondering if because these are bigger, it won't be such a problem with that.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about these loot cysts that we're seeing? I think it was either earlier in this podcast or maybe before we started recording, but you mentioned how it's like I think you mentioned something about TED tasks, and I'm wondering if I think personally the loot cysts are replacing TED tasks. Like I don't think we're getting TED tasks. I think this is like the TED tasks of the map. What do you think?
When you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you brought that up in your reaction to the cutscene. Am I right there?
I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah.
Yeah. When you said that, I had a huge smile on my face because that is a great idea, and I know people have Expert Fusion being one of the big ones, has wanted them to it at least thematically change the trial system from map to map. And I know we didn't get that in Astra, but this could be a great opportunity to do something like that. Now, I guess these won't obviously function. It seems that we are just filling them with souls, so it won't be tasks or trials in that way.
Right.
But I'm wondering if we're gonna be getting, like, that's our way of getting those same rewards in this. And I think to an extent at least, thematically fit. So if that is the case, I'm really excited about that. I think that is a neat way to kind of veer off and do something a little bit different. Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, I just hope that it's not like just fill it with X amount of souls and like get loot kind of thing. I'd like to see. I guess I have a couple ideas. As you know, the resident Zetsubo no Shima lover here. I mean, you love it as well, but I'm of course a lunatic about it. Just like some kind of like, if we could somehow have like a take of like the plant system. I don't know how they would do that.
Oh man.
But if they could like have more of a function than just like fill it with X amount of souls and get loot kind of thing, that would just get boring and repetitive, I feel like, pretty quickly.
Sure.
I can't say I like have super high hopes of it, just because like the plant system on Zetsubo was so it's so like elaborate, and like there's a lot of like time and energy put into it, and in a map that I'll say the consensus feels is otherwise pretty what's the word? Pretty, I'll just say lazy. A lot of people feel like this map's lazy. I guess I just don't know if they would put this like super unique mechanic like that into the cysts, but we'll see. At the very least, I'd love to see some kind of like Easter egg step where you put some kind of device in one of the cysts and then charge it up, and then it spits out another device or something, or maybe that's how we get to like the rumored third nuke town, is like put a device in one of the cysts, fill it up with 50 souls or something, and then it'll spawn like, because like the two portals we saw were like blue and yellow, maybe it spawns like a purple or like a green one, and then we go into this other nuke town or something. So yeah, the cysts, I mean, I think I would love to see that as the replacement for TED tasks. Unless we're about to get a huge surprise, I think not using Rushmore as like a TED task replacement in some capacity was a bit of a waste. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to, you know, seeing with everything that they do. If it is more than just loot, then that's great. So yeah, big fan of the loot system. They at least look sick. So
at
yeah,
minimum, I think they could they could do something of like the trial is to fill it with so many armored zombie souls or radhound souls, something like that, to make it a little more difficult or a little more different than just fill with X amount of souls.
yeah.
They could do different things, and I definitely think to some extent these will have to do something with the Easter egg.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of unique mechanics to this map, which is fine. So I think they're going to utilize as much as they can to kind of hopefully give us at least a medium-sized egg. And I think the inclusion of these in the egg would be a good way to do something with that.
Yeah, I think at the very least, I think that's actually the Pack-a-Punch quest. The way it looks, at least in the trailer, is there's like 4 sort of like swirling like galaxy circle things around the Pack-a-Punch, and then it like eventually like spits it out, or I don't have like the visual in front of me, but like basically like spits it out or like spawns it in. And my guess is like each of those 4 like galaxy circle things represents a cyst, and once like we fill one up with enough souls or whatever, and like that one opens up, and then we have to do it to the other 3, and then we get Pack-a-Punch. My guess is at the very least it's the Pack-a-Punch quest.
That was another fantastic snipe of an observation you made in your reaction video.
I'm just repeating everything I said in the video. Okay, go check that video out, by the way.
Absolutely, I'll link it down below. That is that's a great idea because I think they're similar colors to the Sis, and there were 4 of them, which 3 and 4 are usually very like numbers in maps associated with Pack-a-Punch quests. I think if we've been wrong about everything before, I think that might be a very safe bet, and I think that's a cool idea.
Yeah, they've been pretty unique with like the Pack-a-Punch quests, and like BO6 they were kind of unique with like, I don't know, in Citadel it was cool how you like killed the doppelgas and stuff. I do miss the more like elaborate Pack-a-Punch quests, but yeah, these ones where you like in Astra you like collected the, what were those called? Not monocles.
Harmonic somethings.
Yeah. Yep. But like that's a cool thing how you have to sort of like repair it, and then in this, I at least my guess is that to your I guess to both of our points, we like unlock it by like charging up these cysts or whatever. So no, they're a cool idea. I'm looking forward to seeing how Treyarch utilizes them, and again, I'm hoping it's something to do with Easter egg quest or something to do with the Easter egg quest. So. What are your thoughts on the, like, we already saw the Blundergat and stuff, so that's not like news too much to us, but the 3 different attacks that it has is a really, like, they all sound really cool, and I'm just wondering, yeah, what are your thoughts on the 3 different attacks? Do you like when a Wonder Weapon has multiple attacks, or would you rather have it be one? And just how do you think it's going to play?
I'm pretty on record with hating how some of the different Wonder Weapons sort of force you to play it when it comes to like alt fires and things like that. I think the Necrofluid Gauntlet does it very well. I'm a notorious Reiki hater for how clunky it felt to dip between those 2 firing methods. But I don't think this Wonder Weapon, at least from the way it sounds in the blog post, is something that requires you to bounce between all those things. It seems more of like you might use this in this scenario and this in this scenario and this in this scenario, and I think that's fine. I wouldn't be upset if it's a left trigger press to swap between firing methods. But no, yeah, and I love the fact that it seems like they very much drew on some of the lore of the Blundergat to do with Mob of the Dead and Blood of the Dead, with the souls kind of coming out of it. I think that's a nice touch, and I'm glad that it's unique at least and different from the Acid Gat and the Magma Gat. But yeah, the different attacks, the Soul Wrencher. Let me see here. It says it wrenches the energy out of its foes. I think that's kind of what was shown in the
where the souls like fly up or whatever.
Yeah, I hope all these are. I mean, to some extent, the Wonder Weapon is of course going to be required for the quest. I think that's pretty set in stone with modern zombies these days. But like, do we see where the souls go? Like, do we have to expel the souls in a certain spot and we actually see them come out and then go into some canister that we have to bring somewhere, something like that? I think there are a lot of fun ideas there. And then obviously it has 2 like more so alt fires. The Sunder Purge, it says you can expend some additional ammo, charge the weapon, and it'll make a conical area of effect. So when I think conical, I'm thinking of the augment for Dark Flare, but it seems like it'll be a more like something that's like, if they're up close and personal, yeah, use this charge up effect to get yourself out of a more sticky situation, and it knocks down some of the zombies. Sunder Exile sounds very similar. It is also a strike attack, the conical area of effect again. But this one basically says it just kills everything. So, yeah, I think this can be fun. And at best, or at worst, I should say, like, it is great that they brought some of the lore into this. And I hope we get some voice lines either from a narrator or a crew member that kind of expand on it more.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, I'd like to see some intel on it, but no, it's cool that it at least seemingly has like a base shot and then a charge shot, as well as like some kind of alt fire, being like that beam or whatever that it shoots. No, it's cool. I like it. I think it sounds like it's going to be pretty OP. At least, I mean, like the base Blundergat's like just this crazy like quadruple barrel shotgun. So I'd imagine it's going to be pretty OP just on its own. They did mention that it has like a lot of ammo, which of course is like, I guess that's kind of the like it's not always the case, but usually it's sort of, if you have a lot of ammo, then the weapon itself doesn't do too much damage, and then if it's doing a lot of damage, then it probably doesn't have too much ammo.
Sure.
So there's a little part of me that's worried that like if it has a bunch of ammo, then maybe it's not going to do the most damage, but I'm hoping I'm wrong about that. But at least visually it looks insane, so yeah, we'll see how it plays.
And I'm still torn on what to think about, because in the leaked gameplay trailer as well as the fully released one, it definitely it's edited in a way that sort of implies its usage has like maybe creates that like tear, which I think also implied that that's how
Yeah.
you can jump between the two. It might have just been an editing choice, and if that's not the case, that it like can't actually do that, I think it's a weird editing choice. It
Yeah,
looked
I
cool in
agree.
the trailer,
Yeah.
but yeah, I definitely think it might have set up some false expectations with how this thing functioned. But like you said, it looks fun, it looks powerful. I'm excited for the Blundergat to come back, and I hope that we, and I'm sure we will, have some sort of quest to get the base variant as well as some sort of quest to upgrade it. And hopefully that's not what the majority of the main Easter egg is going to be for this map. I could easily see that being like, oh yeah, getting the Sundergat's half the egg. Hopefully that's not the case, but it very well may be. So I'll lower my expectations a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that with the tomb, where it was getting the ice staff, upgrading it, and then those like 4 like I guess like ritual lockdown things that you had to do. Like it's such a lame Easter egg. I hope that they I don't know, they should make, I feel like a wonder weapon quest should be like max like 20% of an Easter egg quest, unless it's like a super elaborate, like if it's like Origins, where like that's a completely different story. Like in modern zombies, like getting like these wonder weapon quests are nowhere close to like the level of like complexity or difficulty as like an Origin, like getting the staffs kind of thing, or even the bows in DE. That yeah, if the quest is like, if half of it is just like making the Blundergat and upgrading it to the Sundergat, then I think that's gonna be problematic. But you mentioning the portals, because I think a lot of us had that idea that like, oh, maybe the Blundergat is somehow like responsible for opening up these portals. It doesn't sound like it is, based off of what the blog post says. Like, I feel like they would have mentioned that it opens up the portals, but at the same time, I guess I'm wondering if like they do something with that. If like maybe we like charge up assist and then like extract something from it into the Blundergat and use that to open up a portal or something. Maybe that's how we get to like a third Nuketown potentially. If you couldn't tell, I'm hung up on this third Nuketown thing. But no, I mean it looks cool. I think it's gonna be a ton of fun to use. I think it's gonna be, my prediction at least is that it's gonna be the most fun wonder weapon to use to this point, because the Gauntlet's sick, obviously. I mean, the Gauntlet and LGM are both like visually insane. Like they're so cool.
Hell yeah.
I just don't think that they're the most fun to use, especially when you get to like the higher rounds, like the LGM. I was actually watching an Expert Fusion video earlier, and he mentioned how the LGM is like, you literally just like, you just hold down like the shoot button. It's like, that's not like particularly fun to use, especially when it doesn't do a bunch of damage. If it was like melting zombies, it's a different story. But with the Gauntlet, you kind of have to like be a little bit more strategic and like shoot the zombies and then kind of like have the horde run back over the pile of like the needles and blow those up, kind of thing, where like I just want some kind of like point and delete, like it's a quadruple barrel shotgun. If there is a point and delete gun to this point in BO7, it's got to be that one. So I do think it's going to be the most powerful wonder weapon we get to this point, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, that's a great point. And like, I guess a little side tangent is, Yeah, when the LGM buff, I've yet to use it. Like I've yet to acquire the LGM since they buffed it. I've used the LGM while it's buffed though, because they buffed it during the Mars Survival Leaderboard event, and I already had it, and I was up to like 70 or 80 or something, and so I noticed zero difference. Even to the point of I forgot that they made it like full auto, so I was still just tapping. It felt
Yeah.
no different. I'm sure it feels a lot better when it's first acquired now, but yeah, like you said, it is just holding it down, and it may do a little bit more damage and last a little bit longer, but yeah, the LGM benefits a lot from the aesthetics and how well it fits on Astra.
Yeah.
As far as the Necrofluid Gauntlet, that is a much more fun and interesting visually and in usage wonder weapon in my opinion, but unfortunately it does lose a point or two, just because once you get into the high rounds you really have to like strategize how you're using it, and that's only due to like the super sprinters. Like you just have to, like, while the train is like splitting up between super sprinters and non, you have to kind of play with where you're going to place them and when to actually blow them up. It's a whole thing. I am very happy that we're getting a more simple just sort of point and delete sort of weapon that hopefully still does plenty of damage even with its higher ammo count, as they said.
Yeah, it's like you talking sort of reminded me. Me and a buddy of mine were playing DE the other day, and he got the lightning bow and he was using it. He's like, dude, this like feels like a wonder weapon. And it was like, that's such a like crazy, like not crazy, but like it's interesting to think about. Like with a wonder weapon, is like it's like they're supposed to be overpowered. It's like they're supposed to feel like something that you're not supposed to have. Like regular guns, whatever, but like when you get a wonder weapon in your hand, you're like, the feeling should be, I'm not, like, this is so powerful that like I should not be holding this right now, kind of thing. And obviously we already sort of mentioned it, but like visually, obviously the wonder weapons have been insane so far, but like I want to get a wonder weapon in my hands in BO7 and feel like I like feel overpowered with it, and I don't think I can say I've really felt that yet. Like even the gauntlet like does a lot of damage, but it's not like it does, like it's not like I feel more powerful with it than I would with like the Akita in my hand, or like the SG-12 or something. Like I don't, and like if I do, it's minimal. So yeah, I just want something that like obliterates like a bunch of zombies in front of me in like no time, and like it feels like I'm like wielding something that I shouldn't be. So yeah, that's the hope with the Blundergat and Sundergat, and I do think that's what they're going to deliver. So I'm excited to use that.
Yeah, for all the times I've like seen the Necrofluid Gauntlet in the box or something on Survival, there are plenty of times where I have skipped out on it in hopes for a ray gun or a Mark II, just because that is a much simpler, just bang bang, it's going to do all its damage right there for you. I get not wanting to strategize, even though there is an aspect to that I respect, and the Gauntlet does do a ton of damage, but sometimes I just don't want to have to think about how I'm using a weapon. I don't think the Blundergat and Sundergat are going to be that. It seems like it's going to be good, and then if you use it another way, it's going to be fantastic. So only time will tell, though.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing it. We're only I mean, at the time of this recording, what, like 5 days away, something like that? Dude.
Ooh, you just made me excited.
Dude, I'm so excited, man. I can't, which we'll get into that later when we talk about the community and their opinions, but
yeah.
So with the Blundergat, we kind of mentioned how, at least in the trailer, it looks like we sort of teleport between nuke towns. Even if that's not the case, in the blog post it mentions that we can teleport in between the intact and obliterated nuke towns. We either do that with paying for it, or it's pass a certain amount of rounds. I don't know if that's like 1 round or 5. I can't imagine it's more than, maybe it's like in between every Radhound round, something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that, of like either paying essence or like it being X amount of rounds?
So in my head, I was pretty actually surprised to see that you could just flatly pay for it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's something that is maybe for like the speedrunners. Because I'm assuming with this quest we are gonna have to bounce back and forth pretty consistently. So maybe it rewards um, being smart with your money, and being able to pay to go back and forth whenever you want will help you speed up that process, which I think might be pretty what's the word? It might be made pretty redundant in
Yeah.
something like Cursed. Hopefully they don't put the Akitas on the wall
Yeah.
on this map, although people may complain about that. But if they're like making it so that you have to bounce back and forth, I don't think you're gonna want a bunch of money if your goal is to have a long quest. I don't know. There's so many things that could go wrong with that. Although I guess that's kind of nice. You can kind of, depending on how you play, you can choose how easy or fast you want the quest to be. As far as how many rounds, I don't see it being every round, because then that would kind of be like, what's the point of paying for it? I'll just do it next round.
Fair. Yeah.
I like the idea that it's like a sort of set amount, like something like every Radhound round. Oh, that's gonna be a mouthful to say. I'm just
Yeah.
realizing.
Yeah. When I said it the first time, I was like, oh gosh, this is this is tough.
Every special round.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in there I feel like is good, and it sounded like you were kind of saying like it can't be more than like what, every 10 rounds. That seems ridiculous.
Yeah, I feel like 10 would be too much, because I'd imagine the quest, there's a lot of bouncing between the two nuke towns, and it's like, I mean, maybe if you have to pay for it, it's probably not that much. Um, but yeah, if it's
We'll
every
see
10
though.
rounds and you have to like bounce between the two areas and like you're not paying for it, then you're gonna do the quest around like 60 or something. Like you're gonna get to the boss fight around 60 if you're not paying for it. So my
Yeah,
guess is, yeah, it's probably like 3 to 5 rounds would be my best guess.
that's exactly what I was thinking.
So
Maybe every 6 or 7.
yeah, maybe six, some 6-7 action. Um, I don't know if I like the idea of like paying to get between the nuke towns. I feel like there should be some way of playing the game that allows you to open up the portal to the other nuke town. Cause like I get it with like launch pads and stuff, but the like going back and forth in time using essence just feels like it's, I don't know, that doesn't feel, I guess, as cool as it could be. Where it's like, oh, if you like, I don't know, shoot cyst with the Sundergat or something, and then it like spawns this, I don't know, some orb, and you charge the orb and that spawns the portal. Like that would be a much more like natural, cool way of like spawning in a free portal back in time or forward in time. Where like, yeah, spending essence on it just kind of feels like it's, I mean, it literally is transactional, but like that's the word that comes to mind. It just feels less like, it feels less immersive, I guess, with the game. If I'm like spending, if I'm like, oh, I want to go to like the obliterated Nuketown, I gotta spend like 1,000 essence on it or something, as opposed to like doing these like sort of in-game things with these, like with this wonder weapon and these cysts that I don't know about, and somehow they like combine to allow me to go into the other Nuketown. Feels a little bit, yeah, I don't know. Feels like they could have done more there, in my opinion.
I That's a great point. Um I guess like just playing devil's advocate, I wonder if people would, if you were to have to, depending on how complex they made this sort of process with a loot cyst or something, to bounce back and forth. I'm wondering if people would complain that it's like tedious to have to do. But
Yeah.
then again, if you're going for the quest, you're kind of in for it anyways. So
Yeah.
it's probably not that big a deal. But I mean, people say that the killing Oscar 3 times thing is tedious.
Right.
So I really don't know where people would sit, and I'm wondering if this is their way of kind of trying to get ahead of that.
Yeah.
To start. But no, it's a great point. It is, I think, much less immersive in doing it that way. Yeah, that just brings into question, like, you know, who are they trying to please, and what is the purpose of this map as far as playability? Like, is this just like a really fancy survival map, considering its scale, and they want it to be very minimal and easy to hop between these two places? Yeah, that's a tough spot, and I can imagine it's a pretty tough spot for Treyarch as well, having to balance those two things. Like, who do they want to please? And especially in the context of Black Ops 7 in general, this is a whole side tangent, I'm sorry. But like, you have Ashes, which is a very complex map that takes a lot of time, especially with its space. Astra is a much more small to medium sized map, I'd say. And so, like, where is this map meant to sit, and who are they aiming at to sort of please and make the steps for, I guess, is the question here. But no, that's a great point, and it's clearly got my wheels turning.
Yeah, I guess to answer your question, there was I mean, you and I both have already said that we're excited for it. A buddy of mine that is also heavily involved in zombies says he's excited for it. But one thing I will say is there's another friend of mine who hates modern zombies, who saw that we're going back to Nuketown. He's like, dude, that's sick. And it's like, okay, like, I mean, there is a crowd for this. I really think it's the people that aren't like, that don't have a zombies podcast. I think those are the people that, like, this is kind of for, that like aren't like complaining about like reused assets and stuff. Like, if I said like reused asset to my friend, he'd be like, "What are you talking about? You dork!" Like, we're getting Nuketown, we're getting like the Blundergat back. I think there's like I mean, it's easy to not be stoked about not getting an original Wonder Weapon and stuff. I mean, I guess we kind of are, but to answer your question, I think this might be. I think at least partially this map is made for like the people that aren't super interested in zombies, that see like, oh, we're going to Nuketown, like we're getting the Blundergat, remember Mob, remember Nuketown, like all this. I mean, Hellhounds are back. Like, I mean, they're kind of back, and that's like a little bit more familiar for the people that like haven't played zombies in a while. So
Sure.
I'm wondering if it's made for that crowd, but at the same time, like, Astra Malorum is already a pretty simple map. I love it, don't get me
Yes.
wrong. And I know that I'm like the Easter egg guy here, and I like a more like elaborate quest, but like Astra Malorum's quest, I like I said, I still like it, but it is like not a long quest at all. I wish it was, you know, it takes me probably like 45 minutes to an hour to do it. I wish it took me like 3 hours, like Blood of the Dead. But getting Paradox as another seemingly small map with, I guess, what we would predict to be a simpler or shorter quest, just because it is such a small map, at least based off what we've seen. That's a little frustrating because we got a small map with Astra, smallish map, small to medium to your point, and then we waited 3 months, over 3 months to get another map, and it's a smaller map. Like, that's a little bit frustrating. Obviously, I'm still excited. I know I was just negative right there, but like, still excited. I do think it's going to be a sick quest. I think Treyarch could have a lot of cool ideas up their sleeve, but yeah, it's definitely, to your point of like, who was this map made for? I'll say it doesn't feel like it's made for me, who's like a big map, elaborate quest, like new Wonder Weapon kind of guy. But like, I'm still gonna love it, like, regardless. So unless they like really bomb it, but yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like it's made for like you and me. I think it's made for the more like casual zombies fan, in my opinion.
As much as I want to keep talking about sort of the place that the map has for the community, I think we're leaning awfully close to the reception, and I want to save that for the end. So we're gonna tickle the audience's balls just a little bit, and we're gonna move on. Yeah, I want to tap in a little bit more on what are we thinking about the space of this map. Ghost of Hope, RIP. He said this is going to be 3 nuke towns, not just the 2 that have since been officially revealed. Yeah, what do we think about? Is it a 3rd nuke town that we're getting? Is it a new section entirely? Is this counting the boss fight arena that is hopefully some, like maybe the Warden's throne or something like that? What are your hopes, and maybe what are your expectations if they're not the same?
Okay, so the hope is that there is a nuke town that we, a 3rd nuke town that we access at some point in the quest. A lot of people are saying that maybe that's Copium. I guess what I would say is that we didn't know that we were going to Mars when, like Treyarch did not hint at Mars at all when talking about Astra. So, yeah, the hope is obviously it's probably not likely, but the hope is we get a 3rd nuke town, we go into the bunker, the boss fight is like the crazy, although I have thoughts about that intro cutscene, but
Fun.
it'd be cool if like the boss fight arena was like that room or something. I think that the intro cutscene, that's actually, my opinion is that's gonna be either the general atmosphere or the boss fight atmosphere for the final map of the game. I don't think we see that until the final map.
Yeah,
I think
you've said that to me before in private, and I love that idea.
I think it's a little bit of a foreshadowing. I don't think we see that. And if that's the case, then I just know that like once the map, if we get through Paradox and like we don't see that atmosphere at all, then they'll be like, oh dude, what the like people are gonna be like upset about it. But yeah, the dream, I mean, is we get a 3rd nuke town, we go into the bunker, there's another secret area, we go to Zetsubo, like drop into Origins real quick. Like obviously that's the hope, but yeah, I mean the more like secret rooms and stuff that we can access through the quest, the better, in my opinion. My prediction is that I think we get at least one of the nuke town or the bunker that we access. I don't know like to what extent for like a 3rd nuke town or the bunker. I feel more confident in the 3rd nuke town part. One, because we already saw the bunker with Alpha Omega. That's not to say that like this bunker has to be the same or anything. Like we could open the bunker and it could be a totally different thing going on down there. But Hope saying that there is a 3rd nuke town, I feel like tells us that like a 3rd nuke town is like programmed into the map. We just don't see it yet. It's essentially saying like, I don't know, if Hope said something like that there was like a secret room on Astra, and we were like, oh well, like we didn't see a secret room, or like if he said that like Mars was like in Astra, and we were like, oh, like I don't see Mars here.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean it's not there. We just have to. My guess is we access it through the quest at some point, and considering it's we're getting the pre and post. Oh my gosh, I just thought about this in the moment. So we're getting a pre and a post nuke town. In the trailer, there's a picture there's a scene of of a nuke going off and Richtofen turning towards it, or like a flash of light. My guess is maybe that's like a mid-game cutscene in this like, I guess as the nuke hits the ground version of Nuketown, or that's just them showing us that there's a version of Nuketown where a nuke goes off. I think that's the 3rd version of Nuketown, is when the nuke actually like hits the ground and everybody, I don't know, everything gets obliterated. I don't know like what that map would actually end up looking like, but my guess is I think we do get a 3rd version of Nuketown, and I don't think the boss fight is that room that the Warden's sitting in. So yeah, I mean, that was a long rant, but that's what I think. That's what I think we end up seeing. Is my best guess is bunker or 3rd Nuketown, most likely a 3rd Nuketown, and I don't think that we end up going into that like the Warden's throne room quite yet. So, what do you think? What's your hope, and then what's your what do you predict?
Oh man, you just sparked my creative juices. Talking about, because he like turns around. That's got to be a mid mid-game
It has to be.
cutscene.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay. Before I talk about, I have so many ideas.
Because like the mushroom cloud in the obliterated Nuketown doesn't like it's not that bright. Like
Yeah.
I literally think we just like solved it like right now.
So I'm wondering. I'm taking my socks off because I'm getting all sweaty and excited. I'm wondering, what if they? My camera will focus. So okay. Firstly, I want to piggyback off of an idea that I had in an episode or two ago. It might have been last week. Time's going by so fast. But I had the idea to, there we go, to get the Blundergat, that we somehow teleport to, I don't know what it'd be. I guess probably the warden's, Brutus Warden's office, because that's where we get the Blundergat from the side quest back in Mob of the Dead. Maybe that could be like a little side area, and like it could be timed to like get it. But it would be cool if like at some point in the quest we teleport to the warden's office and we get like a little time to like look around, and it's Alcatraz. Like I don't know if it would just be like the little off rooms from the warden's office, but to just like hang out there and it be timed. But that wouldn't feel like as good if it were timed. So maybe it would just be a very small space, so you could stay there as long as you want and then teleport back when you're ready. But you have to kind of fight to stay there because it's such a cramped area. I'm guessing they wouldn't open the like side street that was in blood. It would be more like Mob in that way. But the idea that you sparked in me just now is, again, it wouldn't be like a full third Nuketown that you can just play in, but I'm now wondering if we do teleport to a third Nuketown and it is a timed step, sort of akin to the bomb step in near the end of Terminus. And we have to complete some sort of thing in some amount of time before the nuke actually drops.
Dude, that'd be crazy.
I think that could be fun, and maybe, you know, what we saw in the trailer is, depending where they go with it, either a success cutscene or a failure cutscene. If we don't make it out in time, or if that the nuke drops and that scene of Richthofen is them jumping out very quickly. I don't know. There's so many things they could do with that. Again, none of that is like necessarily like a full Nuketown that you can play on at all times. Yeah, the bunker is always an idea. I don't know if they're going in that direction. It is strange that it was sort of leaked as an Alpha Omega reimagining versus a Nuketown reimagining. So
yeah,
that's one of the biggest aspects of Alpha Omega, was the inclusion of being able to go down into the bunker. Yeah, there's so many ways they could go about it, and so many questions that are unanswered with everything we thought we knew and everything we still know. Yeah, my wheels are absolutely turning. I think that there are hopefully some kind of surprises in there with things like this. Might be copium, whatever. But I think, and I've talked about it before, like, I feel like there's only so much they can do with the main quest with 2 Nuketowns.
Yeah, like limited.
We were
space, yeah.
When we were talking with Shelly, I hope you hear this. Shelly heard his name last episode and got all excited in the comments. But when we were talking with Shelly, we were unsure if it would be a lengthy quest when we thought it was 3 for sure.
Yeah.
So, man, there's got to be some extra playable space. It's the only thing that makes sense, unless they're just like, yep, short ass quest, which they could do.
We need a rock step, bro. We need a red rock step back right now.
Yeah, dude.
Dude. I know it gets flack, but I'm actually I like the rock step, honestly. But
It's not as bad as people make it. It was just hard to solve.
Right, but that's cool, man. Like the Rev quest took a week to solve, dude. Imagine like going to bed, like not knowing if like when you wake up it's gonna be solved, and then you just get to like follow the quest along. Like I don't know. That's cool in my opinion. Um, but yeah, I mean, if there is no like extra playable space and like what we saw in the trailer is truly all we're getting, dude, this quest is like this hunt is gonna take like 3 or 4 hours, bro. Like it's not even gonna be like it's, and I'm gonna be heartbroken because like I got everything scheduled out for Wednesday, bro. Like I got it all mapped out. I'm excited for it. I love like just ripping the egg and like following the quest along and stuff. And the longer it lasts, the better in my opinion. Like, dude, if we get like a like I don't care if it takes like a month, bro. If we get like a Easter egg that takes like a month to solve, like I'm in. I'm all the way in. The longer the better in my opinion. So
Hell yeah.
So with all that said, do you think we get a third Nuketown? Like what's your? I mean, obviously, like you hope we do. You hope we get a third Nuketown. You hope we get a bunker.
I forgot about the expectation part.
Yeah, I think Hope saying that we get a third, sort of, in my opinion at least, it makes me feel pretty confident that there's a third that we unlock at some point.
Sure. And you know, I just thought of this. I'm wondering if they've never really done anything like this. I guess you could say they kind of did in Astra, but not really. But I'm wondering if we don't get the third Nuketown until after we complete the quest, like completely. Like, however the Easter egg ends, sort of maybe resolves whatever paradox is happening in this map and merges the two in some way or fixes it, and that's how we get this third playable section. And I think it would be cool to, in a way that Astra sort of did, reward the players that actually put the time in and solve this thing and put the time into finishing the egg and beating the boss. I think that could be a cool map scaled reward for beating the egg.
Yeah, that'd be like, you're saying based off of like are you saying that there's like you unlock it after you do the quest, so it's either the only way of like actually getting to the third Nuketown is by sort of resolving whatever like whatever you need to, like I think you said resolving the paradox or whatever, and then that's how you get the third That'd be pretty cool, man. Yeah, I'm in. It'd be sick.
Something like that. And it could be like the second or third to last step, sort of like they did with Astra. I could go for either, but I think if they were to do it after the Easter egg, that would be something brand new that we'd never seen before. And in sort of the way that Astra surprised us with Mars near the end, that this could be something fun they could do.
That'd be sick. Yeah, I'd love to see. I mean, I don't think I would love to see that because I would want to be able to use it before like fully doing the quest, but I would prefer it to not having a third Nuketown. So,
Sure.
yeah, if that's what we got to do to play in, I don't even know like what version of Nuketown that they would have. It like the Nuketown that like the version that I envision at least is like, if it is the one where like the nuke actively goes off while we're in it, I'd imagine there's like a bunch of fire and stuff. Like I'd imagine it's like, but that's kind of close to the obliterated version. I would just, I guess, envision like more fire and like maybe just like crazy stuff. I don't know like what all would happen there, but I would hope it would be considerably different from the obliterated and intact version. And honestly, I'm glad because I originally thought that we had we did see three versions of Nuketown in the trailer, and two of them just looked super similar. And I was actually like, I was pretty upset about that. I do not want like, because there were two of the daytime ones, and that just I just did not like that at all.
Yeah, I think that was us just seeing the Radhound round, green smoke on the intact version, which I think is kind of funny.
Well, that was also before we knew that the perks were random, because Quick Revive was swapped out with like PhD or something in the same spot. And I was like,
yes,
oh my gosh, this is two different versions, but they look the exact same. Besides, like, one is has like the green hue. Is that the Archon that like just is like the same as
Yes.
like one's just Archon basically.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm glad that that's not the case. I'd prefer that they like have some kind of unique twist on the third version. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. I am very confident we're getting a third Nuketown. I'm actually going to personally guarantee on the podcast right now that we get a third Nuketown. So
Kevin told us.
I'm stamping that right now. You can.
This is a scoop.
You can fill AQ Debbie's Twitter comments with hate if I'm wrong. It's happening, man. I'm telling you. So
I do think it's happening. My expectation is that we will get some extra playable area besides the street level of 2 Nuketowns.
Yeah.
Whether that's going down into a bunker or teleporting to a Nuketown at some point, pending where you are in the quest, maybe in the middle, maybe near the end, maybe after completely. I think it is almost guaranteed that there is some other playable space. And if it's not,
and it's over.
I don't know about that, but it'll be a stab in the heart,
yeah,
for sure.
It'll definitely be discouraging if there's not a extra Nuketown in mind. But I guess in a similar vein, what are your thoughts on? It seems basically confirmed that there's no new perk. They would have mentioned it in the blog post, I imagine. And then as well as they didn't show an elite. I don't know if that necessarily means I'm more likely to believe that we have an elite. I don't think it's going to be new, but even if they didn't show it, I would guess that we still have an elite. What are your thoughts on at least not being told about a new perk or elite? Do you think we're getting a new elite? Do you think we're getting a new perk? Maybe I don't. Probably not. But yeah, just what are your thoughts about that overall?
My hope with this specifically, and it sort of goes with what I talked about at the beginning of that it's a pretty minimal sort of blog post, is that they're keeping our expectations, like our expectations were low, and they sort of gave us, hey, random perks, blah 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 blah, and they're keeping all that at the hip so they can surprise us when it actually comes out. That is my hope. Now I could see that being the case for the elite specifically. And this is my expectation, that it's for an elite that is returning. I don't think we're going to get a new elite. I think we can talk about that later. The as far as a perk, I don't see them not advertising a new perk, just because that's not a map specific thing. That is a game wide or mode wide addition, and I think they would want to give us that information. I hope I'm wrong. I hope these things do happen. If we get nothing, if we get no actual elite on the map at all and no new perk on the map, that would be one of the biggest L's to this map, in my opinion. Screw the fact that it's on Nuketown. I don't really care about all that. But there is something very, like, this may just be my perception, but I think the sort of zeitgeist of zombies, when you think of like the iconic things, are sort of the mystery box and the perks and the pack-a-punch machine. I think perks are like such an ingrained part of the mode and the fun of the mode and the lore of the mode and the gameplay of the mode. Like, to me, perks are such an iconic thing when I think zombies, more so than maybe anything else. And so I get really, really amped up when we get a new perk. because they, I don't know, something about getting something new to the arsenal that is something that we've never seen before. Like when you think PhD on Ascension, that was such a different thing that felt so incredibly special. It was like a brand new thing that we had never seen before, added to our arsenal, and little did we know that it would be like a future staple. And I don't know, man. I get so excited for new perks. And so it hurts when you think about like the amount of like time that has gone into this map. And I know it's like split schedule. I can talk about all that, like split games, but in general, I think everyone was expecting a new, at least for Black Ops 7, a new perk for every map release, and we are seemingly not getting that, and that just sucks.
Interesting. Okay. I don't know if I would call it, I'm kind of just like whatever about that, honestly. Like, I don't care that we didn't get a new perk.
I'm just like a crybaby bitch over here.
No, like I get it. Like having a new version of Widow's Wine, because I mean, the rumor, the leak was that it would be Widow's Wine would be the new perk, which like who doesn't love Widow's Wine? I guess there's a few things that like I try to factor in with that. It would be cool. Obviously, like the machine's cool. The way it functions is cool. Having a unique lethal grenade, if that would still be how it works, as opposed to like picking up a Semtex off the ground, would be cool. At the same time, though, like when I have all my perks and I look at the bottom there, I'm like, wow, that's a lot of that's a lot of perks that I have. And like, not that it, you know, not that I feel like it's too much, but I do think that we might be approaching where it's too much. Like if we get a new perk, like a quote-unquote new perk, if they bring back a new perk, if they bring back a perk for the remaining 3 maps, dude, we're gonna have 16 perks. Like our screen's gonna look like a Noah J like stream thumbnail, bro. Like we're gonna be like round 100 with like, we're gonna have the ray gun in front of us with like just like 4 rows of perks that like I've never even seen before, like colors that like the human eye can't comprehend. Like I think we're getting a lot of perks here, so I personally don't mind that we're not getting a new perk for this map. And then kind of the same thing with an elite. If we don't get an elite, I'm totally cool with that. I could go for a map where I don't have to worry about an elite. And I'm, you know, I recently finished the camo grind. I think I told you about that already. So don't need the elite kills anymore. I mean, maybe for like the new guns or whatever, but no, I think it'll be like, especially if like that's the feel that they're going for with the map, is just to be kind of like the chill, like hangout kind of map, like more of your like, if it is made, to my earlier point, for like the casual zombies fan and like it doesn't have any elite on it, I think I'm totally fine with that. I will say, I do think that they would have advertised it if there was an elite. Like even if it was just like, my best guess is Brutus would be the elite that they use if there is one.
Ooh.
I think that they would have advertised them. I mean, they advertised the Blundergat. Like, they advertised all the stuff that they brought back. I don't know why they would leave out the elite. Part of me wonders if it's, like, a marketing strategy thing that they're trying, where, like, they're like, what if we just, like, didn't show off the elite? And, like, we get to round 16 or whatever, and, like, this random thing spawns in that, like it could be, like, a new elite, and we're just like, what is going on right now? Like, this thing is, I don't know what it would look like, obviously, but like, just like, it would be a crazy surprise in a time where Treyarch really likes to show off everything that they're bringing into the map. So yeah, personally, it doesn't bother me much at all that they aren't adding those 2. I know a lot of people aren't happy about it, seemingly you included, but yeah, personally, I can't say I'm too bothered. The perk icons at the bottom of the screen are already starting to look a little bit cluttered.
I'll add a couple things to that. Yeah, I guess just to expand on kind of what I was saying, like, to me, every new, like, brand new perk feels like an event to me.
Okay.
and that might just be me, but like, and I think I felt so shafted by BO3 that we only got Widows at launch and then nothing else new. That felt crazy. And that was one of the things that excited me the most about BO4, although we know how that went. And I have less problems with the BO4 perk system than most people do, but it was just a fun and inventive idea. I think... Am I tripping? Wait, what did we get that was new in Black Ops 6 besides Melee Macchiato? Was anything new? I'm like having a brain fart.
Citadel, we got Vulture Aid. Tomb, we got
new though.
Tomb, we got Death Perception. I'm just like going through them. Shattered
yeah.
Veil. Did we get anything for Oh, Double Tap, Shattered Veil. And then Peakening, we got... I don't think we got one for Peakening.
Did we not? That doesn't sound right, but I don't think we got anything new in BO6 besides Melee Macchiato.
Dude, I'm trying to think. I don't...
Damn, we look really bad right now.
yeah, we're not true BO6 enjoyers. No, so I'm pretty sure that you're right in saying that the only new perk we got was Melee Macchiato, and it's like, who gives a rip unless you're on like Citadel.
Right. Which, why would you be on Citadel?
Whoa. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up.
But man, I don't know. Like, hearing that they were coming out with something new for Black Ops 7 Wisp T, it was such a cool, and like, especially because we had no idea how this thing was gonna work at all. Like, I don't know. I love the idea of getting something brand new that totally changes how you think about the game. Because like, for me with Wisp T, like when I have the Fetcher augment on or Armormatic on Vulture Aid or something, like it really changes like what my focus is on when I'm playing the game. And that's a whole other discussion. Like, old perks with augments that completely change them, or brand new perks and you have no idea what the augments are going to be. I'm just a very like perk centric person, and I would like to point out the tweet that I put out. It was sometime a little before or a little after Reckoning, around the time we first met, and I put out a tweet that was, I guess it was on the community's mind, but I asked people if they would prefer more perks with less meaning, or less perks that were more like meaningful and powerful and unique. And I'm not gonna lie, most people were fine with it looking like a Noah J video. Most people wanted just more perks, throw them across the screen. And I can't personally say I disagree. I do see both sides of it, but especially when you consider like the one major, two minors these days, like the more perks the better, because it can completely change things. This is way aside from Paradox at this point, but yeah, what do you think about that? And then I have another thing, and then we'll move on to the community reception.
Think about specifically like the less perks with more impact, or more perks with less impact. Is that the question?
Well, I guess what are you gleaning from my entire rant about perks? Like, do you? I guess you don't see them on the level that I do,
yeah,
which is fine.
Like, I get it. Like, I understand what you're saying. I guess part of it is like, maybe if it was like a unique ability, like Wisp T was. It's kind of whatever. I don't like care for it too much. If they brought a perk that like had a unique ability that like actually was like something that we hadn't seen before, I think that'd be pretty cool. But like I said, it's rumored to be Widow's Wine in a game where we already have, like, we mentioned this, I think it's like our first or second podcast maybe, in a game where we already have like 30 get out of jail free cards. Like, I don't want more get out of jail free cards.
Sure.
So maybe if it was different from Widow's Wine, I would enjoy it a little bit more. Like Mule Kick, when we got Mule Kick, I still run. I mean, the augment where I don't remember what it's called, but like where you pack a punch something and another
Multi-pack.
weapon. Yeah, and another weapon has a chance of being the same. Like that's really cool. Like that's something like every time I pack a punch a gun, I'm like scrolling through everything. I'm checking my knife. I'm like, did anything else get pack a punch? So like, I get your point with that. Um, but yeah, I mean, not getting a new perk doesn't bother me that much. It might if like we were getting a unique perk that we didn't know anything about. But yeah, I guess, and I still think we get Widow's Wine like next map or maybe for DLC. What would that be? 4?
4. Yeah.
Which is crazy to think that we're not even halfway through the cycle yet. That's crazy to think about. But yeah, I'm personally fine. I don't view it as like I guess yeah as highly as you do. It doesn't matter that much to me. I would definitely prefer if somehow there was a way that we had less perks that were more impactful. But yeah, it's getting to the point where like I don't know, maybe they need to have like a HUD setting where like the perks will just like overlap each other by like half the icon or something, so it doesn't like lay out across the entire bottom of my screen. Dude, we're gonna get to the final map, bro, and like it's literally like they're gonna have to make a second row, bro. It's gonna be crazy. So, yeah, it doesn't bother me. If at all, it's very little. So, yeah, that's my take on it.
That's fair. Yeah. Just man, I miss those days of BO1 and BO2 where every map it was just like this is new.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that's kind of the
Deadshot, Mule Kick, Electric Cherry,
yeah,
like
yeah. PhD. Well, Ascension, we got PhD and Stamina same map, dude. It's crazy.
2 in
Yeah.
1 map, dog.
Well, the thing is,
Oh.
like, have you ever like sat down and like tried to think of a new perk idea? Like, I can't. I'm like, I don't know what they could do.
People on Reddit do it, and some are ass, some are pretty cool. I urge you to go check those out. But
Okay.
yeah, I myself probably couldn't think of anything very good. But it's a good point. It's hard to think of, especially when you factor in like what are the augments gonna be?
Yeah.
Like just
Au-
more
augment-
powerful.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. Can't say I care too much about any new perks that might be coming. I already feel pretty. Like I said, there's so many get out of jail free cards that like any kind of like defensive perk I could live without.
I do agree. All right, the last thing before we talk about this whole community reception, what people are thinking about Paradox Junction with what we know so far, is I wanted to just quickly ask, if you do think we're gonna get an elite, what is your? You brought up the Warden. Is that what you think that they would do? Because I have an idea, and I don't think it's a unique idea. I feel like I've seen it kind of floated around, but I'm curious what you think of that. Should it be something brand new, or do you expect it to be something returning? Maybe not from BO7, but from BO6 or even before. What are your thoughts on that a little more?
So, well, just real quick to clarify, you mentioned the Warden. You mean Brutus, right?
Yes. Yes.
Not to be. We're not
makes-
getting.
That makes things really confusing. I don't know why they
Yeah.
did that, but
It'd be a pretty OP elite if we're seeing him. Right now. Just draws a sword. I mean, I'm pretty done with like amalgams and abominations and stuff. I'm pretty tired of Uber Colossus as well. I could live without them. I don't think Xursa makes sense. Obviously, like if they brought in Oscar again, I'd be like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
That's
that'd
why-
be confusing.
I've heard Megatons floated around a little bit, which like if we're getting Rat Hounds, then maybe a Megaton makes sense. It comes from the same general like area or whatever. I don't know how that works, but yeah, Megaton I think is, if there is an elite and it's a reused one, my guess is Megaton or Brutus. Yeah, I think Brutus, like Megaton makes sense with the Plague Hounds, and Brutus makes sense with the Blundergat coming back. So my guess is it would be one of those two if it's one. I don't think we're getting a new one. I think that they like showing off the new stuff that they're doing.
Yeah.
So unless it's like the craziest marketing strategy ever, where like they're like, you know what, these guys don't want us to show everything, we're not going to show everything, and then they, maybe there's maybe there's just a base third Nuketown that they were just like, we're not going to show you this this one because,
I'd love it.
yeah. So prediction right now is it's a reused one, and it's actually I don't think we're getting one, but if we do, I'm guessing it's reused, and if I had to narrow it down to two, it'd be either the Megaton or Brutus. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
The Megaton was the one I saw float around, and I think it fits very thematically with the map because he's sort of in a hazmat suit. And we haven't seen him since D Machine, and then he was on an Outbreak, which you love. So, but no, I think your Brutus idea was actually kind of cool. I don't know, like it fits with the Blunder Gap, but it seems like all the things that are sort of returning are like mishmash, so maybe they didn't want to like do two
Use
from
two
one,
assets
if
from
that
the
makes
same-
sense.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be cool. I would love on round 16 to just hear the brrrr, like,
Yeah,
oh my
yeah.
god, that'd be sick. But
And like when he runs,
yeah,
you like feel the shaking, your screen starts shaking. Dude, that'd be sick.
dude. But yeah, I think my expectation is, it seems like we're not getting one. Again, it's hope that we get a new elite and we get a new perk, and they're just in a new Nuketown section. But yeah, again, I just hope the quest, and I hope that in the story are what can kind of carry this map.
Yeah, I mean, I have some thoughts on that, but that'll be with the next section that we've been teasing the entire podcast of the community sentiment. I have some opinions about that, but
Well, let's talk about the community sentiment around Paradox Junction. Shorbzy, what are you feeling, brother?
Dude, the community is so. Again, if you're watching this video, you're probably pretty in touch with what the community is feeling right now. I get it to some extent. I know people are saying like, who wanted a third Nuketown? Me. I thought a third Nuketown would be like, the two we got already are sick. I don't have a problem personally with like getting a third one. I don't care if it's in like a bathroom. Like if they can make it like look cool and like like play well, like I don't care where we are. I think it makes sense. Like, I mean, obviously, I assume they're gonna try to make sense of it story-wise because it does seem like it's a pretty like lore-heavy map. But yeah, dude, the community is really down on this map. I'm seeing like people are already making videos slandering this map, bro. It's like the thing hasn't dropped yet, man. Like, how are you like making videos like talking crap about it? It's reused assets. I get that, and a lot of people are referencing like I don't know if it was like a leaked tweet. I think it was, or not a leaked tweet, but like a tweet talking about how Treyarch was like, they're in the dark ether, so they're gonna explore these like crazy ideas, and a lot of people are like replying to that and quoting that, basically making fun of it, saying like, oh yeah, crazy ideas. Like, well, we're in Nuketown for the third time, bro. Like, what's going on here? Part of that, like, if we had three. Or I guess we'll say two for now. If we had two Nuketown areas in Paradox that looked like if the other Nuketown wasn't just like BO6 multiplayer Nuketown, and it was obviously different in atmosphere, but on the same level of like awe and craziness as the obliterated Nuketown is, I think there would be a much different opinion about it in the community personally. Like I think that really left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth, was seeing like the BO6 multiplayer Nuketown. The reused assets, obviously, nobody's happy with. Like, we went from Ashes and Astra, we get a new Wonder Weapon, new Elite, new setting. We get either a new perk or a perk brought back for both maps. And in Paradox, did I mention new Elite as well? I think I mentioned that.
Yeah. I think.
Paradox, we're getting a reused wonder weapon, we're getting a reused location, we're getting no perk, no elite. The map looks tiny. It was rumored to be 3 nuke towns, and we're only seeing 2. The bunker door is closed. Like people just are not happy with this at all. And I kind of get it, man, but I just like, I feel like the meme of like it's like a fat guy with like a knife, and he's saying like, leave the multi-billion-dollar company alone. That's how I feel right now. But I just want to say, dude, like we've gotten two maps in my top 10 so far in BO7. They're 2 for 2 with bangers. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't also cook with this map. Like, I think, I don't know. If you had questions going into this game, I don't know how those questions haven't been resolved or answered after the first 2 maps. And like I said, we got 2 bangers, and now you want to question them again. Like have some faith. If I end up looking like an idiot because the map actually ends up being horrible, then like I'm fine with that. But like right now, Treyarch has done nothing but earn our trust throughout the BO7 lifecycle so far. So I see no reason to not continue believing in them. So I think the community is being super dramatic, honestly. Like already making videos. I'm not gonna say like, I don't know. That's not a bad. I mean, obviously, you can do whatever you want, but like we haven't even played the map yet, and you're like ripping on it. Like you can have these like notions going in. You can be, cautiously optimistic, or you can be not have high hopes for it going into it. But making a whole video or a post or whatever, or I know you tweeted it out. I remember seeing a tweet of yours where somebody was excited for it. Somebody replied to it making fun of him. It's like, dude, like, can I have anything? Like, let me just let people enjoy it. Like, let people get excited for it. A map release is like one of the coolest days of the year. There's like, I mean, it's like I get super excited for a new map coming out, and a bunch of other people do too. And I don't know, I'm excited to play it. I know you're excited to play it. Maybe seems like maybe you're a little bit more like cautious with it than I am. But like regardless, dude, Treyarch has done nothing but cooked this entire. I mean, I say this entire life cycle. It's been only 2 maps, so have some faith, guys. We need to believe in Treyarch. They're back in their bag. They lost it for a little bit, in my opinion, through like from Cold War to before I guess to BO6. I think they started cooking it with BO6. But dude, we're in like S tier level maps again, and until they prove otherwise, I think we need to trust Treyarch. So that's my rant about the community. I think the community is being ridiculous right now, but yeah, I'm personally just pumped for Paradox. I think it's gonna kick ass. So what are your thoughts, Mr. Devi?
Yeah, I think I agree with everything you said. As far as caution, for whatever caution I might have, has nothing to do with BO7. Ashes of the Damned, if you guys don't know, is my favorite map of all time, bar none. So much of that too is just how this game feels. Black Ops 7, with all of its systems and its engine, with its gunplay, it feels absolutely fantastic just to kill zombies. And I think that's the baseline. That's what it needs. It might be hard to hear, but in my opinion, it is very hard for me to go back to something like Black Ops 2 and feel as powerful as I feel in BO7. Now, a lot of that conversation might be Black Ops 7 is made to be easier. You can take so many more hits, the armor conversation. But I think they are delivering such a fantastic zombies game, full stop, this year. And whether this map in particular is just meant to be a smaller sort of experience, it's more of a lull compared to the 2 great maps that we've had this game. I don't think it hurts the game any. Of course, in a perfect world, yes, I think we would all like another grand scale, completely brand new from the ground up map. What I keep looking at, and I've seen a sort of similar sentiment on Twitter, is that it seemed like we were getting more content in Black Ops 7 than Black Ops 6 as far as just maps. And that was due to having the 5 DLC releases after launch instead of the 4 like we got last year. But last year we got a bonus map at launch. So we're really getting the same amount of maps, right? I'm not like mathing completely wrong.
Yeah, like full scale maps. Yeah, obviously the survival maps kind of skew the numbers a little bit, but
sure. Yeah, completely disregarding the survival maps. We're getting the same amount of maps this year as BO6. I think I have my own problems with how they've sort of scheduled these maps out already. I think we got Astra a bit too early, and that's created this sort of lull that led into this map, which could easily have just been our bonus map. This could have been our Liberty Falls map, and I don't think anyone would have bat an eye. And this map already seems to me to be much stronger than Liberty Falls ever was.
Mm-hmm.
So to doom over this, it is a bit bizarre. Now, I think that all comes from the idea and expectation, which, fair enough, that this was going to be another large-scale, grand, brand new experience. But I think, at minimum, if they continue after Paradox, the rest of the maps are on par with Ashes and Astra, then at the very least, this game, Black Ops 7, will exceed Black Ops 6.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a fair enough play with all the stuff that has been going on behind the scenes, Treyarch having to split their schedule between 2 maps, stretch themselves thin, not to mention the development of even these 2 games having been working on the ranked play on all these games and all the other devs' side modes. They've been having to contribute to the zombies modes in non-Treyarch games. I mean, I could go on an entire rant about this alone, but I think with the amount of time they've been given and the amount of work they've been made to do, the fact that BO7 is on track to exceed BO6 is a great sign, in my opinion. This is very aside from Paradox, but I think if we're looking at it at the lens of this could have been in place of Liberty Falls, I see no issue with that.
Yeah.
I'll hand it back to you, but it's crazy, man. It's people dooming very heavily when this game has been nothing but an upgrade, and in so many ways.
I agree, man. I remember before BO7 came out, me and the mystery buddy that I keep mentioning, we were both like, yeah, BO6 is probably like 100% better than Cold War. That's how we both felt. It was a 100% improvement. And we were like, if BO7 is even just like 25% better than BO6, then like we'll be happy. And it's like, in my opinion, dude, BO7 is like 200% better than BO6. Like, I love BO6. It's an A tier game for me, but like BO7 is like, they're killing. Like that's just how much they're crushing it with BO7. And this community, it's such a sensitive community that we belong to. The highs are really high, the lows are really low, and just like the most minor inconvenience is the end of the world. Like the sky's falling with the community. And
it didn't always used to be this way, man.
See, I'm new to the community. I couldn't tell you like how it's always been. I kind of joined at a bad time, but actually, I mean, I guess I could have joined during like Vanguard or something, and had it been much worse. But um, yeah, I think we're wired, and I'm not gonna like get into the details of it, but like I'm a sports fan of. I'm if anybody knows hockey, I'm a Maple Leafs fan, and if I can't imagine anybody knows what I'm talking about. But basically, we're the most cursed fan base in sports. And the second like one bad thing happens in a game, my mind instantly goes, "Yep, here it comes. Like it's over." And I think that's how our community is with Treyarch, is because we're sort of coming out of the woods of a really bad stretch of zombies games made by Treyarch, in my opinion. Like Cold War, Vanguard, MWZ. I would say the majority of people, especially Vanguard and MWZ, I'd say the majority of people didn't care for those so much. Um, Cold War, obviously, more people enjoyed that, but I'm not in that group. So we're coming out of a stretch of probably the worst time in zombies history. So we do have a pretty like sensitive community where it's like if one, like we're seeing the reused assets and the community's like, oh, like here we go, like it's the budget's been reduced to 10% of what it was. Yeah, they're just dooming, to your point, and I do understand it, but I guess I want to be like alongside with you as like a couple of lone optimists where we're saying like, dude, Treyarch, like right now they're in their bag. We need to trust them because so far in the life cycle of BO7, they've shown that they're cooking right now, and we need to trust them. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I wish the community wasn't so negative, but that's kind of, I think I do think Treyarch has kind of dug themselves into that hole of the community not being super happy with them.
Yeah, you brought up a great point with like how better things have gotten, and like what I'm looking at is setting aside Vanguard and MWZ, because once again that was Treyarch just helping other studios develop a game outside of the like them already making their own games, like this how this is supposed to be going. Them scrounging stuff up for the other lazy dev teams. And so what I'm looking at, their full releases, stuff started going bad. I'd say you could argue BO4, that was a different thing. But with the reduced budget from how BO4 fell off, and then COVID, Cold War was not up to par. Although I was a fan of the new direction they went in. But since Cold War to BO6 to BO7 has been a phenomenal trajectory, in my opinion.
Agreed.
They've done nothing but exponentially get better in those releases. And like, let's be honest, Paradox has a more than 50% likelihood to be the weakest map of the three that we have in this game.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like, no matter what, no matter how the game is, if we just got literal BO6 multiplayer Nuketown, it would still feel fun to kill zombies on this map because of how much they've done with this game, just how the game feels, the cursed mode, which people are starting to hate on for some reason as well. The TED task with the eternal perks, that adds another layer to this whole game. Like they've done so much, and it's like you said, the littlest inconveniences of things, it's strange how triggered people are getting. And I again, I lean on the understandable expectation that people had of that this was going to be bang, 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 bang. It's going to sound like horse shit, complete copium. But I think if Activision allows Treyarch to stop with working on everyone else's stuff, that the next Treyarch full game release is going to be out of this world.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Now, that's not going to help people that are upset about what we're getting in Paradox, and that this might be a side conversation entirely. But, and the thing is, people are going to complain no matter what.
Right.
It's weird to see people sticking around for so long when they seemingly hate what this mode has become over the years. And so I don't know why I stay. And I don't know why get upset at the people that are excited for something like Paradox. It's this could go in so many ways of like talking about how toxic the community is.
Yeah.
And they'll never get this far in the video. It doesn't
Right.
matter.
Dude, yeah,
Only
the people yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the people that are dooming, there's no way they're clicking on this video. So
They heard you at the beginning say like, yeah, we're pretty excited about the map.
yeah.
That's where we already got the dislike.
If you did get to this part of the video, thank you for listening. You guys are freaking rock stars. This is probably going to be our longest video, I guess. Our longest podcast.
God.
Yeah. This is going to be like a 2-hour episode, bro.
We're really far on time. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But you guys gotta freaking lock in, man. Like, get excited. We're getting a new map. If you don't, like, do whatever you like. If you're a quest guy, do the quest. If you're just like an atmosphere wonder weapon guy, use that, run around and like take in the sights and everything, and then come up with an opinion after. It's easy to jump to a conclusion before the map comes out based off what we're seeing, but I'm telling you, man, Treyarch's gonna cook, and you just gotta let them do their thing, and we'll see how we feel in a week from now when we played it for a couple days. I did want to ask one lighthearted question to end off the pod here, Mr. AQ Devi.
Hit me.
What are your thoughts on the PAP camo?
Yeah, we didn't talk about the PAP camo. There's a lot going on that thing. Hold on, let me pull it up again.
There's like drawings and stuff going on. So I've heard people say it's like an event camo, or like it looks like an event camo, which I would agree with if it wasn't so like map specific.
Sure.
Like if you really look at the details, there's the ghosts, obviously, those are pretty like pronounced on it. There's like the nuke. I think there's like a sun. There's like the demon looking drawing things on it. Like there's a lot going on. I think it looks I personally love it. I'm a sucker for a vibrant, crazy looking PAP camo, so yeah, personally, just to get out of the way, I'm a big fan. I love it.
I see someone in a cowboy hat, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's sweet.
The thing that popped out to me, damn, it sucks we're so far on time, but I just want to really quickly tack onto this. The thing that pops out to me and the PAP camo as a whole is the hopscotch drawing, and the fact that it looks like it all sort of looks like kids drawings, and that goes into what we were talking about last week about the twins, and we heard them what I think is the twins in the full release gameplay trailer.
Yeah,
I think this is nothing but evidence that they're gonna have an even larger role in this map's story and Easter egg, and I couldn't be more excited. We need to get more information, but once again, the information we get from these things is at its best when it brings up 10 more questions, and I can't wait for that. That's so exciting, and all it does is fuel this fun conversation that we love having every week.
Yeah, dude, I agree. I think at some point we're gonna be like interacting with the twins, or we hear them in the trailer, obviously, we're gonna hear them at some point, but no, it's cool that like the PAP camo is like themed around them. So I guess like overall, is that a yay or a nay for you for the PAP camo?
It's pretty cool. No, I like it. It's very busy.
Yeah.
That's the only like negative, I guess you could say, but it's very very noisy on the eyes, which I don't mind too much, to be honest. I don't mind it's a lot, but it's cool. I think it looks interesting and different, much more different than the other two maps, which I like that they're doing the unique camos thing this year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it looks on the Sundergat. That'll be that'll be a crazy looking gun. Yeah. So we'll see, but yeah, I think that's it for discussion that we have.
Don't give up, guys. It could still be great.
It will be great. I'm calling it right now, guys, and I'm also guaranteeing a second time that we're getting a third Nuketown. So, yeah. Get excited, guys. It's like 5 days away. By the time you're hearing this, it'll be 2 or 3 days away. Dude, we're getting there. It's gonna be a great time. So, yeah. With all that said, I think we're gonna call it here. We appreciate you guys watching this this episode. We're already at 5 episodes in. That's crazy to think about. Yeah, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow both of us on Twitter. Let us know your theories or thoughts or expectations or anything about Paradox Junction. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Take care, guys.